The past year was filled with several major hits, including the highly anticipated Elden Ring, the latest addition to the Dark Souls franchise. But which game had the most active players at one time? Stay tuned until the end of the video to find out. Get ready to discover the top 25 games that were released in 2022 with the highest all-time peak player counts on Steam. These are the games that have truly captured the hearts and minds of players around the world, with thousands of players logging on at the same time to experience them. From immersive role-playing games to action-packed adventures, there's something for everyone on this list. Welcome to HD Play. You're watching top 25 games of 2022 with all-time peak players on Steam. On the 25th spot, we have Core Keeper, developed by Pugstorm. This title was released on March 8th and reached a peak player count of 34,000 at its highest. Core Keeper is an endless cavern exploration game featuring creatures, relics, and resources for 1 to 8 players to discover. Players can mine, build, fight, craft, and farm their way through the game as they unravel the mystery of the ancient core. Temtem by Crema takes the 24th spot on our list. This title was released on September 6th and reached a peak player count of 39,000 at its highest. Temtem is a massively multiplayer creature collection adventure game where players seek adventure in the airborne archipelago with their squad. In the game, players can catch every Temtem, battle other tamers, customize their house, join a friend's adventure, or explore the dynamic online world. Coming in at number 23 is Warm Snow from Badmud Studio. Released on January 19th, this roguelike action game peaked at 44,000 players. Set in a dark fantasy world, Warm Snow follows the journey of warrior Bayan as he battles against the 5 great clans to save a world on the brink of destruction. Sitting at number 22 is Undecember, a MMO hack-and-slash action RPG from Needs Games. Released on October 12th, this game reached a peak of 46,000 players. In Undecember, players can surpass the conventional limits of skills by endlessly combining a variety of skill and link runes. Join the ranks of the rune hunters and experience the joy of farming and growth in this massively multiplayer adventure. Coming in at number 21 is the free-to-play game Super People 2, developed by Wonder People and released on October 9th. It reached a peak of 47,000 players at its busiest time. In this game, Wonder People presents a battle royale shooter that will change your perspective on the genre. As a player, you control a super soldier with unique abilities and try to be the last one standing in Super People 2. On the 20th spot we have Gundam Evolution, developed by Bandai Namco and released on September 20th. This game reached a peak of 56,000 players. Gundam Evolution is a fast-paced and immersive team-based FPS game where you pilot mobile suits from the popular Gundam anime. At the 19th spot, we have the game Cult of the Lamb, developed by Massive Monster, released on August 11th with a peak player count of 61,000. In this game, players can start their own cult in a world filled with false prophets and venture out to different regions to build a loyal community of followers and spread their word in an attempt to become the one true cult. Stray is a game that holds the 18th spot on our list of top games of 2022 with all-time peak players. Developed by Blue 12 Studio and released on July 19th, it reached a peak player count of 62,000. In Stray, you play as a lost, alone, and separated stray cat trying to find your way home. Along the way, you'll need to untangle an ancient mystery and escape a long-forgotten cyber city. 17th on our list is Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, released on August 12th by Insomniac Games, with a peak player count of 66,000. In this game, players get to experience the worlds of Peter Parker and Spider-Man collide in an original action-packed story. As an experienced Peter Parker, players will fight big crime and iconic villains in Marvel's New York, web-swinging through vibrant neighborhoods and defeating villains with epic takedowns. Victoria 3 is on the 16th spot, developed by Paradox Studio and released on October 25th, with a peak player count of 70,000. In this game, you can build your ideal society in the exciting and transformative 19th century. Balance the competing interests in your society and earn your place in the sun in Victoria 3, one of the most anticipated games in Paradox's history. Football Manager 2023 is on the 15th spot on our list, released on November 8th by Sports Interactive, with a peak of 76,000 players. The game lets you build your dream team, outsmart your opponents, and experience the excitement of the UEFA Champions League. Vampire Survivors holds the 14th spot on our list. Developed by Ponkel, this game was released on October 20th and had a peak of 77,000 active players. In this gothic horror casual game with roguelike elements, players must mow down thousands of night creatures and survive until dawn. Your choices can allow you to quickly snowball against the hundreds of monsters that are thrown at you. On the 13th spot on our list is Nobody the Turnaround, developed by Thermite Games and released on November 17th. It had a peak of 82,000 players. In this life simulator set in a parallel world that echoes modern society, players must carefully manage their time and resources in order to overcome the challenges they face. On the 12th spot on our list is EA Sports FIFA 23, which was released on September 30th and had a peak of 105,000 active players. There's not much to say about this game that any fan of the genre doesn't already know. It's just pure unadulterated football fun. Dread Hunger holds the 11th spot on our list. Developed by Dread Hunger Team, it was released on January 26th and had a peak of 107,000 players. In this game, 8 explorers navigate their ship through the harsh Arctic, with 2 traitors among them attempting to use dark powers to bring them down. It's a game of survival and betrayal. On the 10th spot of our list is Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, developed by Fashark and released on November 30th. The game reached a peak of 108,000 players and is an intense and brutal action shooter set in the city of Tertium. Players must take back the city from hordes of enemies and can team up with other players in the co-op-focused experience. The game is from the award-winning team behind the Vermintide series and follows the journey of rejects as they rise against the odds in Tertium. The Rising by Stunlock is on the 9th spot on our list. It was released on May 17th and had an all-time peak of 150,000 players. In this game, you awaken as a vampire and must hunt for blood in nearby settlements to regain your strength. You must evade the scorching sun to survive and raise your castle in an ever-changing open world full of mystery. Gain allies online and conquer the land of the living. MultiVersus holds the 8th spot on our list of top 25 games of 2022 with all-time peak players. The game was developed by Player First Games and was released on July 19th. It had a peak of 153,000 active players. In MultiVersus, you can team up with your friends using iconic characters such as Batman and Shaggy in this free-to-play platform fighter. On the 7th spot of our list is Total War Warhammer 3, developed by Creative Assembly Studio and released on February 17th. It had a peak of 166,000 players. The game features the cataclysmic conclusion to the Total War Warhammer trilogy. Players must rally their forces and enter the realm of chaos, a dimension of mind-bending horror where the fate of the world will be decided. On the 6th spot of our list is Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, a strategy-action RPG developed by Taleworlds Entertainment. It was officially released on October 25th and had a peak of 248,000 active players. It's worth noting that the game was in early access for 2 years before its official release. In this game, players can create a character, engage in diplomacy, craft, trade and conquer new lands in a vast medieval sandbox. Players can also raise armies to lead into battle and command and fight alongside their troops in massive real-time battles using a deep but intuitive skill-based combat system. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is on the 5th spot of our top list. It was released on January 19th by Konami and had a peak of 262,000 players. It is the definitive digital edition of the competitive card game that has been evolving for over 20 years. Players can duel at the highest level against duelists from all over the world. On the 4th spot of our top list is the game Dying Light 2, developed by Techland and released on February 4th. It reached a peak of 274,000 players and is set in a world where the virus has won and society has fallen back into the Dark Ages. Players must use their agility and combat skills to survive and reshape the world in the city, one of the last remaining human settlements, which is on the brink of collapse. The choices players make in the game matter and will have a lasting impact on the world. The latest game from the Call of Duty franchise, titled Modern Warfare 2, is on the 3rd spot of our top list. It was released on October 28th and developed by Infinity Ward, reaching a peak player count of 491,000. This intense first-person shooter brings players into an epic global conflict, featuring the return of iconic operators of Task Force 141. Experience intense gameplay, hard-racing action, and a gripping story in this highly anticipated game. On the second spot of our top list is Elden Ring, considered by many to be the best game of the year. Developed by the renowned studio, From Software, Elden Ring had a peak of 953,000 active players upon its release on February 25th. The game continues to have an average of 100,000 daily active players even today in early 2023. Not much needs to be said about this game, other than it being a new fantasy action RPG. Rise, tarnished, and be guided by grace to wield the power of the Elden Ring and become an Elden Lord in the lands between. Don't miss out on this epic game. At the top of our list is Lost Ark, a free-to-play MMO developed by Smilegate and released on February 11th. The game has set a record with an all-time peak player count of an incredible 1,325,000 players for one MMORPG game. Set in the vast world of Arkesia, players embark on an odyssey for the Lost Ark, exploring new lands, seeking out lost treasures, and testing their skills in thrilling action combat. Don't miss out on the chance to join in on the adventure in this action-packed RPG. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about the most popular games of the year and found our list informative. Let us know in the comments which games you've played and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more gaming content. See ya in the next video.